So it is time for this week's Nintendo news. 15 stories in total. And we've got all sorts going on this week, from the good, such as Yakuza 0 revealing its voice cast, through to some, well, let's say, less than good news regarding physical editions. So yeah, if you enjoy this one, do me a favour and subscribe. And now, let's get into it. Alright, so the first piece of news of the week, and honestly one I'm really excited about, but some new information just dropped regarding the Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. And while we already knew it included the base game and the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, it has now been confirmed that there are extra bonuses, and this was revealed at the From Software Spring 2025 event in Tokyo this week. Now, what does it include? Well, there's 2 new character classes, Knight of Ides and Heavy Knight. No further details were given, but I'm sure we can look forward to information in the near future. There's further torrent customization, so simple, you'll be able to switch between 3 new looks for your trusted spectral steed, and then finally 4 new sets of armor, weapons, and combat skills are packed in here too. Now, look, to be clear, this extra content isn't exclusive to Switch 2. It'll also be available on other platforms as the Tarnished Pack DLC, whether that's paid, whether it's not, only time will tell. I think my last question though regarding this release now is, what will the price be? It is a massive bundle of content, so I wouldn't be surprised if it lands at that Mario Kart World tier pricing. This one's a quick one then, but definitely worth flagging. Nintendo's been quietly updating their user agreements in the run-up to the Switch 2 launch, and one clause in particular is getting some attention. Basically, if you're trying to bypass, modify, decrypt, or tamper with Nintendo's software or hardware, you could be in trouble. Now, most people won't be affected by this, let's be honest. It's targeted at the emulation crowd, but it is very clear they are tightening things up. Now, the wording in the US is particularly strong. It says that if you break these terms, Nintendo can actually make your device permanently unusable, either in part or in full. So yeah, basically, bye-bye console. Over in the UK and the EU, it is worded a bit softer. It says unauthorized use may result in the digital product becoming unusable, so no mention of the hardware. And this, it's no doubt thanks to better consumer protection laws over this side of the pond. But yeah, look, if there's one thing I've learned over the years, do not mess with Nintendo. They'll brick your Switch, and then no doubt follow up with a swift lawsuit for good measure. On the back of that then, we've also got more news out of Nintendo, and that is relating to Switch 2 hardware pricing. Now, it's been stated by Nintendo's president that we may see price changes on the hardware after launch, and this was confirmed at their investor meeting earlier this week. This isn't that surprising. PlayStation and Xbox have both seen price bumps over the years, and I think we will see the same thing happen here. Now, why could this happen in the immediate future? Well, right now, it's mostly to do with those tariffs, in the US. I think it's more likely to affect that market than, say, the UK or the EU. For now, though, it seems like they are holding the launch price really to get things off the ground smoothly. As Furukawa put it in the meeting, it's to really quickly popularize the hardware. They don't want to mess with the launch crowd, understandably so, but I think in 12 months, there's a good chance this console could be just a little bit more expensive. As we get closer to the Switch 2 launch next month, then we're starting to see more details emerge about third-party physical releases, and in some cases, well, it's definitely not exactly what fans were hoping for. So let's start with Civilization 7. The good news, a new listing suggests the game will run at up to 4K at 30 FPS, or 1080p at 60 FPS when docked. So that's a decent performance bump coming with that upgrade. It looks a hell of a lot better from the trailer as well. There's also going to be an upgrade path for Switch 1 owners. Always nice to see. It's exactly what I wanted to see. However, the bad news, the Switch version that's out right now includes a physical game card, which is great. But for Switch 2, that same listing suggests it could be another code-in-a-box release. Think a split fiction. I honestly almost feel like just grabbing the Switch 1 cartridge and just paying for the bump, because at least then you've got something physical to keep. In the same vein as well, we got a quick update on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Bam Margera has been officially confirmed as part of the roster, and again, that is great. But at the same time, a Switch 2 listing has popped up, and yeah, it might also be code in a box. And neither of these are fully confirmed yet, but it is definitely a little worrying for the physical fans out there. So yeah, definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on. Zelda fans, then, this one's for you. Nintendo just shared another compilation of footage for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker on Switch 2. It is arriving on June 5th via the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, And honestly, I think it's looking lovely. The improved frame rate, the higher resolution, I think it really helps this one shine. It's just clean, smooth. It's kind of exactly what you'd want if you're jumping back into it. I'm definitely excited to play it again. That said, I do still think it's a bit of a shame that they're locking GameCube games to Switch 2. I think it would have been nice to have them on the original Switch as well. Massive audience over there still. But yeah, look, again, Zelda fans, be excited. This looks great. I'd still love to see a full rebuild one day, or even a proper port to the HD version from the Wii U. But for now, this one, yeah, will more than do. Now, Yakuza fans, Sega have revealed the full English voice cast for Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. It is launching day one on Switch 2 as an exclusive, and the cast here pretty stacked. So far, we've seen Young Ye voicing Kazuma Kiryu, we've got Matt Mercer stepping in as Goro, and then we've got David Hayter. So yes, Solid Snake himself is in a role here. This is actually the first time as well Yakuza 0 is getting an English dub, and it comes alongside some other additions. So there's over 20 minutes of new cutscenes, even an online mode called Red Light Raid. See, honestly, look, it's great to see Sega putting this kind of effort into the release. I won't be playing with the dub myself, but yeah, whether you're a long-time fan or new to the series, this Director's Cut seems like a solid way to experience the game. If you're tired of the whole game key card situation, then here's some good news. Developers are on your side, or at least a few of them. CD Projekt Red's VP of Business Development, Jan Rosner, explained that they wanted to offer a true plug-and-play experience on the Switch 2. The entire game is on a 64GB cartridge, no downloads required. That in itself, really impressive. But they said Nintendo players are very appreciative of physical editions that are done right. He also advised other studios, do not underestimate the physical edition. On the flip side then, former Assassin's Creed and Far Cry director Alex Hutchinson criticized the game key card approach, calling it, well, sort of lame, and lamenting the loss of the tangible aspects of gaming. So yeah, definitely encouraging to see some developers still valuing complete physical releases, and hopefully it gives you, I don't know, a little hope for the future. Okay, so a few quick highlights then from the week before we do get to the final story. So first up, Guilty Gear Strive. A new DLC character has been announced. Unica will be joining the fight on May 27th as part of the Season 4 lineup. Not much else was revealed, but always good to see that roster keep growing. Then I've kind of found myself at this stage now where I'm just hoping certain games make it to the Switch 2. And this week, Gears of War was announced for PlayStation and Xbox, and I adore this series. It got me through university, essentially. See, I'd love to see it hit Nintendo's next-gen console, and honestly, with Phil Spencer's vocal support of Nintendo, I don't think it's out of the question. Next, Trails in the Sky remake. This one looks bloody stunning, but they've announced the release date. It's launching on September 19th, 2025. I never got to play the original. I got in during the Cold Steel era, so I'm absolutely buzzing for this one. And lastly, a quick shout out to my friends over at Lost in Cult. They've just announced the Animal Well Design Works book. Basically, it's a collection of artwork, sketches, journals, and yeah, look, if you've seen any of their previous work, like the Citizen Sleeper book, which I own, it is absolutely gorgeous. These books are just stunning. So yeah, look, if you're a fan of the game or just love premium game art books, collections, journals, all that good stuff, go check it out. Now, I'll link it down below. I do want to say as well, they've also just announced a physical label for game releases, which is super exciting. They always put real care into what they do. I was actually a Kickstarter backer from issue 1 of their, well, let's call it journal, just to give you an idea of how long I've been following them. But yeah, I've got no doubt these releases are going to be something special, and you should be keeping an eye on them. Alright, so we're ending this week on what I'd call some genuinely depressing news, but there is still hope. Kyo Games, the team behind the 100 line Last Defense Academy, has confirmed they're still on the brink of going under. This came directly from Kodaka, who responded to a fan asking about a potential port to other platforms. His answer, we'd love to, but we just don't have the funds right now. Now, for anyone unfamiliar, Kodaka is the creator of Danganronpa, and the 100 line is his latest project. It's a narrative-heavy, strategy-driven adventure that mixes visual novel storytelling with turn-based defense mechanics. You play as a student in a school that's under constant attack, trying to survive 100 days alongside your classmates. So think here, part Danganronpa, part Fire Emblem, part Persona. Basically just very cool. Now the team though, and what has led to this situation, they had to take out a loan during development just to get the game finished. So even before launch, Kodaka actually said that if it didn't sell well, they might be done, and sadly, it sounds like even after release, they are still in a very tight spot. So yeah, look, honestly, with this one, the game is fantastic, and we can help. Go pick it up. It is absolutely stunning. The art direction is beautiful. The writing is just weird in the best way possible. And of course, it's got a ton of heart. I've been playing it myself. I've got a full review coming ASAP later this week. But yeah, if you have a bit of cash to spare, you love this studio, you love this development team, then now may be the time to invest. All right, so let me know your thoughts on any. All right, and that is this week's top stories that caught my eye. If there's anything I missed you think is worth shouting about, drop it in the comments down below. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on some of these stories. You know, are we supportive of some of these practices? I'm going to say a lot of you are not regarding the physical editions. And what do we think of the voice cast, for example, of Yakuza? But anyway, like, if you did enjoy the video, do me a favor and subscribe. We have right now weekly Switch content, but we will be going back to daily as the Switch 2 arrives. And yeah, I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers all.